Very early on the morning of December 5, we left for Cuba with a stopover in Miami. There we had a taste of Havana and a meet and greet with Captain Chris, who flew us on to Havana. At the airport in Havana, we were met by our Cuban guide, Ernesto. He took us to the apartment where we would be staying for most of the week in a beautiful old Cuban neighborhood. We had a suite with 2 bedrooms, living and dining room, tiny kitchen, and very modern bathroom. We also had access to the rooftop deck and the living room that opened onto it. Sylvia, our hostess, served us breakfast up on the deck. One day we had lunch at the elegant La Guarida restaurant. We walked up 3 flights of stairs to the restaurant, made up of small rooms based on various themes. It's in a typical old building that is being renovated. This is the plan for the building to be completed. This 53 Chevy is the taxi we took to the Buena Vista dinner show. I love this server's shoes. Lobster in tomato sauce and other delicious dinner courses were followed by a music and dance show that lasted 2.5 hours. The city at night is very lively. Our guide's friend brought this car for a fun ride. It was cloudy that morning, so they arrived and then they took the top down for us to get into it. Our driver, Johnny Be Good, drove us around town through Revolution Square, along the Malecon, ending in Old Havana. There are always lots of 50s American cars out, especially on weekends. We enjoyed walking around Old Havana and watched salsa dancers on stilts. Our guide and driver took us on a 400-mile round trip to Pinar del Rio, southwest of Havana. We entered the Viñales National Park after a quick stop for a snack. Our first stop there was a botanic gardens area with many orchids and stairs up to the top of a waterfall. On to the archaeological site of one of the first coffee plantations in Cuba. This is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. We had a lovely lunch while listening to Los Auténticos del Mocha. And then on to Los Terrazos, where buildings were built on concrete block stilts along terraces on the hillsides, and to Mirror Lake. We spent the night in the small tourist town of Viñales, staying at the home of Mylene and her family. She served us supper al fresco on her front porch. The sunset from there was lovely, and we walked into town that night to listen to a salsa band. On to the Indian cave the next day. It was softly lit to expose the scenes inside. In the rural area there, we rode an ox cart pulled by two recalcitrant bulls on a very muddy, rutted trail to another UNESCO World Heritage Site, a sustainable tobacco farm with chickens and rabbits and hand-planted tobacco plants. Here, the planter told us about how they dried the tobacco leaves, infused them with fruit flavors, cut out the large bitter center vein with the most nicotine, and hand-rolled the cigars, sealing them with honey and packaging them in palm leaves.
Okay, the capa in the house more stretch, okay? Here only for demonstration. Eat the cigar in my house inside the paper for 24 hours. This is the cigar inside the paper, maybe 30 minutes before you more tourists visit here. You remember, okay? Okay, finish 24 hours. I retire the paper and roll it la capa. Okay, finish for the natural glue. Here honey for the natural glue. For I clocked the cigar, two different forms. This is this, this, and after with honey, natural glue honey, miel, miel.
Back in Havana, we visited Hemingway's finca. We were not allowed to go inside the house, but could see into it and take photos of the rooms through the windows. His wheeler ship, Pilar, is sheltered on the property. We saw his pet cemetery and climbed up to the lookout to see the vista of the bay. Ernest's family invited us to a lovely lunch at their home. We loved everything about our visit, especially the cars.